In a city built on dreams, one dreamer vanished in silence. Behind the lights of Hollywood, a secret was buried, a truth bought, but never erased. Because when power kills, and money hides the blood, only one thing remains: justice. Still calling. In Santa Monica, California, a young woman's dream burned bright. But one night, that light went out, in silence and in blood. In Santa Monica, one young dreamer's pursuit of happiness ended in mystery, and a justice system that still has no answers. This is the story of Juliana Redding. She wanted to shine, not for fame, not for money, but because she believed she was meant for more. Juliana Redding, born March 17, 1986. A small-town girl from Tucson, Arizona. Warm smile, soft voice, a heart too gentle for the world she was about to enter. In 2005, she packed her bags, left home, and moved to Los Angeles, the city of stars and of shadows. She dreamed of acting, modeling, telling stories that mattered. Her parents were proud, especially her father, Greg Redding, a pharmacist and researcher. But he worried, because Hollywood isn't just lights and red carpets. It's also dark rooms, hidden hands, and people who smile while planning your fall. Juliana got small modeling gigs, photo shoots, a few commercials. She was finding her rhythm, slowly but surely. Then she met Munir Ueda, a flashy doctor, wealthy, charming, and far older than her. He wasn't just a man, he was a name. A celebrity surgeon known for connections, money, and mystery. At first, he seemed like a mentor, then a more. Their relationship raised eyebrows. A 20-year-old aspiring actress, and a 40-something doctor with power in his pocket. But Juliana didn't care about money. She cared about dreams. And maybe, she saw in him a door into a world she thought she wanted. Her father, Greg, wasn't convinced. He met Munir once. Didn't like him. Said he didn't trust his smile. Greg had done business with Munir, a potential pharmacy deal. But it fell apart. Badly. Soon after, Juliana ended things with Munir too. She told friends she didn't feel safe. That he was too intense. Too controlling. By 2008, Juliana had moved on. She was working part-time at a restaurant. Auditioning. Living with friends in a small apartment in Santa Monica. Life was normal. Quiet. Until the night of March 15, 2008. That night, everything changed. Neighbors heard shouting. Banging. A woman's voice. Desperate. Then silence. 2 days later, when Juliana didn't show up for work, her mother grew worried. She called. No answer. She texted. Nothing. So she asked the Santa Monica police to check. Officers arrived at the apartment. No response. They knocked again. Still silence. Then, they opened the door. The air was heavy. Still. And something was wrong. Inside, they found Juliana, lying in the living room. Unrecognizable. She had been beaten. Strangled. Her body showed signs of a violent struggle. Furniture overturned. Broken glass. A trail of chaos that told a story of fear and fury. The autopsy confirmed it. Juliana had fought hard. But her killer was stronger. Police found no forced entry, meaning she probably knew the person who came in. Someone she trusted. The crime shook the city. Another dreamer, gone too soon. Another young woman taken by violence and silence. Investigators searched for leads. Friends, exes, neighbors. And that's when one name kept coming up. Dr. Munir Ueda. The same man Juliana's father had warned her about. The same man whose business deal had gone bad. And the same man whose assistant had disappeared. Her name was Kelly Sue Park, Munir's office manager. But police later described her as something more, his enforcer. A woman who handled things when they got messy. Police found DNA at the scene. A partial match. Female. not Juliana's. Months passed, then years, until in 2010, forensic results came back. The DNA belonged to Kelly Sue Park. Detectives were stunned. They believed Park was sent there to send a message, or to silence Juliana. But Kelly denied everything. No confession, no remorse, just silence. And as for Munir Ueda, he was gone, out of the country, untouchable. Authorities called him a person of interest, but he stayed overseas, living freely, while Juliana's parents buried their daughter. Greg Redding said in an interview, "She was our only child, our light, and someone decided that light didn't deserve to shine." The case dragged on. Media called it the Hollywood murder that money couldn't hide, because behind the glamour was corruption, influence, and power shielding those who could afford it. By 2012, Park was charged with first-degree murder, but with no witnesses, no clear motive, and Munir still out of reach. The road to justice was far from over. Juliana's story faded from headlines, but her parents never stopped fighting. Because when your child is taken from you, you stop sleeping, you stop healing, and you live for one thing: truth. Years passed, but time doesn't heal when justice sleeps. The Redding family waited, prayed, hoped someone, anyone, would be held accountable. Then finally, a name was called: Kelly Sue Park. In 2012, she walked into court, calm, expressionless, almost cold. The prosecution called her the female James Bond. Smart, controlled, deadly when ordered to be. They said she worked for Dr. Munir Ueda, who was now hiding overseas, reportedly in Lebanon. Park wasn't just his assistant. She handled his money, his properties, and when things got messy, his problems. The state argued this. Juliana Redding was murdered because of her father's failed business deal with Munir, a deal that could have cost Munir millions. And Juliana became collateral damage. The evidence: DNA. Traces of Kelly's DNA were found on Juliana's neck, on her cell phone, and on the door handle. Detectives said the scene told a story. A struggle, a fight for life. A woman's hands wrapped around another's throat. But the defense pushed back hard. They said the DNA was contaminated, transferred, coincidental. They painted Park as a clean businesswoman, framed because of her connection to a powerful man. And Munir, he was never in the courtroom, never questioned, never saw handcuffs. He sent statements through lawyers, denied involvement, and lived comfortably thousands of miles away, while Juliana's parents sat in court every day, clutching a photo of their daughter. The trial dragged for months. Experts battled over DNA reports. Prosecutors cried for justice. The defense planted doubt. And in 2013, the verdict came. Not guilty. Kelly Sue Park walked free. The courtroom fell silent. Greg and Lisa Redding sat frozen. Their faces said what words couldn't. No tears left. Just disbelief. A young woman's life had ended violently. Her killer, still unknown. Reporters asked Lisa Redding what justice meant now. She said softly, "Justice doesn't live in courtrooms. It lives with God. And one day, He'll call every name." After the verdict, Kelly Sue Park smiled slightly. Her lawyer said, "She's been vindicated." But the public didn't see it that way. To many, this was another Hollywood cover-up. Another case where power and privilege bought silence. Munir Ueda stayed overseas. He was later indicted in a separate insurance fraud case, accused of orchestrating a multimillion-dollar medical scam. But even then, he was still out of reach. Years later he was caught, not for Juliana's murder, but for fraud. He served time, then vanished again. Justice never came home for Juliana. Her parents sold their house, moved away from the city that took their only child. They said every street, every light, every noise reminded them of her. Her friends still post her pictures every March, every birthday, every anniversary. with one message beneath each photo. We still remember. Because sometimes, that's all you can do. Remember. Speak her name. And refuse to let silence win. Juliana's story reminds us. Dreams don't always die because they failed. Sometimes, they die because someone feared their light. A young woman chased hope. And found horror. A doctor hid behind wealth. And escaped justice. But truth never forgets its way home. It might take years. It might cross oceans. But someday, it will knock again. And when it does, even money won't be able to hide. This was When Justice Calls. Because behind every case, there's a voice that still waits to be heard. A truth that refuses to stay buried. And a name that deserves to be remembered. Subscribe to USA Unsolved Crime Files. For more stories like this. Juliana Redding. Gone too soon, but never forgotten.